Heyo and welcome. Today we are going to talk about how to daisy chain your power cables between machines. Until recently, my default was usually to use a ceiling or a wall to connect all the cables to. However, this means I need to have some kind of architecture around my machines to secure those power nodes to. With Update 5 and soft clearance, we can attach our nodes to the machines themselves and free ourselves of those requirements to run power cables. And in my opinion, it looks pretty good too. Starting with the constructor, we will be placing the connector on the machine just over top of this power warning symbol. To do this, build or use a nearby wall, connect a big pillar positioned just behind the constructors, and zoop it through. Then use the power line connector against each constructor and place the wall connector just below the main power node. Remove the pillars with selective dismantle, run the cables, and bam, connector placed snugly right onto the constructor. Assemblers are a little different. There's a lot of movement in the center, so to avoid clipping through the animations there, we instead use the back of the machine. With the large pillar again, we'll run it through the assembler and hook up the power just in front of the little fence that sticks through. This makes for a connector that's snug on the top of the assembler and the cable doesn't clip into the machine when joining them together. For manufacturers, we do largely the same thing we did with assemblers. There's a slightly raised section on the side, and with a large pillar, we can run over the front of the machine with a quick zoop and snap the connectors onto that raised section. Now before I show a few more, I do have to give a big shout out to Bacon Bits. Several weeks ago he shared a picture in Discord that was using power poles on refineries to largely do the same thing. This kicked off a discussion where we iterated on stream over the next couple of weeks. And this is where we landed with refineries. If you use a walkway, you can shift a wall over by smaller segments, one of which lets you run a wall just behind the main power nodes. With the wall, you can now attach power connectors just above the machine's existing node and then connect them all together. Blenders brings us back to the large pillars. It's an awkward building, but with a pillar you can snap a connector to the side of the top of the big blender. This lets the Pioneer still access the walkways and the ladders without looking like you are walking through that cable. Now you may have noticed I used the large pillar for the majority of these. This was because it provided the right depth for the connector to look like it was attached to the machine, but also made it really easy to selective dismantle these pillars. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, and if you want to learn how to selective dismantle items, be sure to check out the video I'm linking here. Until next time.